got to do some things last night. We went out to dinner, got to see a few things, but I leave early in the morning. So unfortunately, I gotta get back to LA. But I used to come to Colorado every summer and tromp around the mountains with my family. So I love Colorado. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I understand that this season's going to be kind of a departure from the books. Why do you think that decision was made?
Well, it's a balance, honestly. We do depart from the books, and there are some things that are completely different. Some things that we change the story, we change certain aspects, but it's all for the best. But then on the other side, we have scenes that are taken almost directly from the books and put into the show. And so it's nice because it allows for the fans to still connect with the material that they love, and the characters they love, and the spirit of the story that they fell in love with in the first place. But then it allows it to have a new perspective in its own life. And it allows each of us to add our own sort of artistic stamp onto things and have our voice come through. So I think that's credit to our fans. The changes that we've made so far, most of the time they appreciate it.
Right.
And most of the time they come with us on this journey, and that's what I think is so fantastic.
Awesome. I love the sneak peek of Clary and Izzy training.
Yeah.
That was amazing, and I'm wondering how much physicality do you actually get to do this season? I mean, I know you have stunt doubles, but do you actually get to do any stunts and how much of it?
We do. We've had a lot more training this season, especially, we've been working in this world and in this kind of material for over a year now, and so we've had a little bit more time to gain skills of our own. And by this point, we're able to do most of our own stunts and most of our own fights and things like that. Obviously, there are things that are too dangerous that they won't let us do, but for the most part, we do it ourselves, and that's what makes it a lot of fun, especially now that Clary is growing into herself as a Shadowhunter, and she's really gaining more skills and gaining more of a grasp on her skills and her individual talents. She gets to do a little bit more fighting.
Is it like that?
And I love that.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so much fun because I'm learning so much as well. And there's, we also do the training, a lot of it we do together as a cast.
Oh, okay.
So that's sort of a cast bonding experience for us. We help each other and we spar with each other and, help learn the little things that we don't see ourselves. So it's really nice to have
that's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys have the most passionate fans.
So
I'm curious if, growing up or now, if there's anything that you were absolutely a passionate fan about that you'd be willing to confess to.
I was a huge Star Wars fan, but I still am. I love Star Wars. But I loved books as a kid. That was my favorite thing. I loved to read. I still do. I have stacks and stacks of books that are on my list that I'm waiting to read when I have a spare moment in time. But that's what I really got into as a kid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know you read the entire series, right?
Yeah.
Is there any particular event throughout the entire series that you were just dying to film? You're one day I cannot wait to film that.
There have been several, actually. Yeah, there have been several that we've shot that I can't say anything about.
Oh, no!
And there are several that happen in this season. I mean, honestly, I love the story, and I love the way it's crafted. And so when we do get to have those moments from the book, it's like, oh my God, this is happening. Especially Alberto and I, because we both read the whole series, right? So we read the books and we see it in the script, and we're like, oh my God, this is happening. This is actually, we get to actually do this. And it's so great. But yeah, there have been several, and I think there's several more to come that I'm even more excited for.
Is there any standout one that maybe is, far in the series that you would just kill to film?
Well, we've heard whispers of Sebastian. Mm-hmm. So Sebastian is coming. And let me just say, everything that comes along with that, I'm very much looking forward to.
Oh, thank you for that. Clary spent the majority of last season trying to find her mother. With that mission over, what is her new focus for this season?
That's what we start off with. It's almost a direct pickup from where we left off, which leaves everyone sort of devastated by Jace's going with Valentine. We don't know what his intentions are. And then also, we have Jocelyn back. And that opens a completely different can of worms. Because yes, Clary finally has her mother back, but on the same token, her mother still sees her as the little girl that she was at the beginning of season 1. Clary's not that person anymore. She's grown up. She's become a Shadowhunter, or she's on her way to that. But her mother doesn't see her as that. And so having that difference of perspective is a bit of an obstacle that they have to work through, that they have to get over. And on the other side of that, not only did Jace find out that Clary was his sister, but he found out that Valentine was his father. Clary's the only other person who understands the kind of doubt and the kind of dark path that can cause. But Clary had the entire rest of the Shadowhunters team around her, and had Luke and Agnes and Simon to help her through that.
Right.
Jace doesn't have that. He's literally in the clutches of the evil that he's just found out is inside of him. And so, dealing with that, Clary knows exactly where he's at and exactly what he's going through, and she's desperate to pull him out of that dark hole that he's edging on. So that's a major driving force for Clary in the beginning of the season, is getting to Jace and pulling him out of that.
Saving him.
Yeah.
So I have a fan question for you.
Okay.
Have you read any of the Shadowhunters fan fiction?
I have not. I go on Tumblr sometimes and I look at the fan art and the little text posts of things of, the Shadowhunters at Thanksgiving dinner, or the Shadowhunters, I am names, or things like that. And I find that so fun and so charming. And I think I find it so great. I get to do what I love for a living. And I'm so passionate about it. And we all pour blood, sweat, and tears into the show. And the fact that it has a positive effect on people's lives and they can have fun creating other things from that, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing what the fan artwork and stuff, what they pour their passion into.
Absolutely.
And how great it is.
And I love all the theories too. I love that there's kind of this worldwide community that people discuss the show, and they're like, well, we saw this glimpse of this in the trailer, and that means this and this, and they put things together. And sometimes they're exactly right, and sometimes they're not, but it's also another completely valid storyline that I go, why didn't we think of doing that? It's just all these little things that I love that people are actually thinking about our show.
Are there purposeful Easter eggs in the show?
There are always Easter eggs. That's something that I've loved about it. Whether it's a prop or a word or a pet name that somebody calls someone. We have little Easter eggs from the book that we pepper into the show to keep the spirit of the books alive.
Is the season 1 DVD going to be released soon, and will there be a gag reel?
I don't know, but I hope so. Because let me tell you, there was
that
so much. I want that. We all did. We don't even get to see those kind of things. So it should be nice for us, because we've made so many great fun memories making season 1 and season 2 as well. It would be really nice if they put that together.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we're called Talk Nerdy with Us.
Yes, I love you guys.
Yay! What is it that you nerd out about the most? I know you said reading, but outside of reading.
Like other fandoms?
Well, anything.
Anything?
Computer games.
I'm a huge economics nerd. I was going to go into finance before I was an actor. So I nerd out about that. I nerd out about makeup. I love playing with makeup. I'm a huge Game of Thrones nut. I love Game of Thrones. Star Wars.
Did you watch Westworld?
I haven't yet because I've been in Canada and I couldn't get my HBO Go to work in Canada.
If you're a Game of Thrones fan, I think they're different, but as far as just the brilliance of it.
The group that I watch Game of Thrones with has been watching Westworld while I've been in Canada.
That's why
I got to catch up on it. That's my next venture.
Yeah, I think you'll totally be into that for sure.
Right now I've been binging Good Girls Revolt on Amazon, and that's been really fun.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Loved it. Yeah,
Great
I watched
show.
the whole thing.
Great show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can we get a picture real quick?
Of course.